Good morning, Ultimate Hustlers. It is that time for the Cortez Hustle Show. That is right. And today, man, we're talking about developing a healthy mindset. Not only developing, but maintaining a healthy mindset with therapist extraordinaire BJ Word. I can't wait for y'all to hear this lady's spirit, man. It is about to go down. So do me a favor, comment in the chat where you're from, drop the name of your business and or your brand, and smash that share button, ladies and gentlemen, because you do not want to miss this. Buckle up and hold on tight. You are in for a wild ride. So y'all know how we do. Let's kick it. Yo, what's up, Ultimate Hustlers, and welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show, the business podcast for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. And I'm your host, Cortez Hustle. Our goal is to give you a behind-the-scenes look at how the world's greatest hustlers build amazing brands, scale their businesses to incredible heights, sell more, make more, and create mass movements that impact the world. It doesn't matter if you're a seasoned vet or you're sitting on the sidelines with aspirations to one day unleash your inner hustle. This show will provide the insights into how pure grit, determination, and hard work has morphed into some of the most iconic brands and personalities and how they are moving the culture forward. You'll get a mix of solo shows featuring yours truly, as well as interviews and content from other hustlers that I either know personally or I've learned from or whose grind I've come to know and respect. And you'll also get exclusive recordings from our membership called Monetize My Life Academy, which you can check out at monetizemylifeacademy.com. That's a program where we go live every month with some of the best hustlers on the planet, sharing best practices on how we all can explode our brands with advanced branding and marketing tactics, business development strategies, and financial game planning necessary to build the empires we all desire. Again, that's at monetizemylifeacademy.com. If you like today's episode, chances are the hustlers you're connected to will like it as well. Share it with those in your network. And when you do, use hashtag Cortez Hustle so I can see you and hopefully give you a shout out and share you in my stories. So check out today's episode and make sure you subscribe to the feed on your favorite podcasting networks. All right, Ultimate Hustlers, welcome to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am, of course, your host, Cortez Hustle, aka the one and only financial health mentor, everybody's favorite fatherpreneur from monetizemylifeacademy.com, where we are the premier digital marketing mastermind for the entrepreneur of the 21st century. Listen, if you are trying to figure out how to get your thing going online, you're trying to figure out social media, YouTube, all of those different things, that's what the mastermind is all about, man. We meet every single month and we teach and we train on the latest tools, techniques, resources, and strategies to grow your brand online. Check us out for just $1 for your first month at monetizemylifeacademy.com. We got a wonderful show lined up for you today. We're talking about developing and maintaining a healthy mindset with BJ Word. So she'll be on in a second. But before we bring her on, you know I got to give you a couple announcements. So how many of you guys would like to make your first $1,000 online? Well, guess what? I have a new challenge about to start, the Cortez Hustle Affiliate Marketing Challenge. I found this cool little affiliate marketing machine that you can set up for free and run for free. But how many of y'all know that free only gets you so far, right? You might have to put a little money into this thing, but nevertheless, for the month of October, I've been challenged to help 10 people make their first $1,000 online. If you are interested in joining this challenge, I want you to comment keyword affiliate, and I will send you the link to set up your free rapid profit machine. Also, those of you who aspire to be published authors, well, guess what? The Instant Authority Blueprint 21 Days to Launch is having a free mastermind this Thursday night, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Don't quote me on that time. It might be 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. And basically, the Instant Authority Blueprint will help you write, promote, launch, and publish your own wildly successful book in as little as 21 days, even if you fail high school English like your boy, right? But that hasn't stopped me from publishing 2 books so far, 1 ebook, and I'm writing my third that's going to be a smash. So if you are interested in becoming a published author, then you need to comment keyword published, or if you're listening to this, just look in the show notes, and the link is in the show notes for you to register for the free masterclass this Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I have the honor and the distinct pleasure of introducing someone to you who I just happen to see on my feed. And it is rare that you see someone online and their spirit actually jumps through the screen. And that's what I felt when I saw her for the first time, and I watched a few more of her broadcasts, and she is absolutely amazing at what she does. She brings real, raw, honest truth to people who are seeking that to elevate and go to the next level. So I want to take this opportunity and introduce to some of y'all and present to others, Madam BJ Word. Top of the morning to you, sis.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. Happy to be here.
Awesome. I am happy to have you here, man. You got one of the most bubbly spirits that I've ever seen online.
Well, thank you very much.
Anywhere in life, really. So we're going to get into your story as a therapist, what you do as a speaker, author, coach, and all of that good stuff. But before we do, every day I start the show with a quote of the day, BJ. So I'm going to give a quote, and you can either chime in on that one, or you can give us one of your favorite quotes as well. But I just always like to share a quote. And today's quote says, "You are perfect as you are right now. But," there's a but, "that version of you won't be enough next year."
Oh, that's good. That is good. I love that. So I'm gonna chime in on that one, and I still might give you one of my own. But my chime in is that it shouldn't be. But the caveat is it shouldn't be enough for you. You know, it's not about being enough for somebody else. You can be the best person on the planet and never be enough for somebody else. You may never be enough for your supervisor. You may never be enough for the person you're in a relationship with. You may never be enough. But the goal is to strive for the highest version of yourself. And so if who I am now is enough for who I'm going to be next year, that means I didn't grow. That means I did not change. That means I did not learn anything. I didn't get better. So I want this BJ right here is enough for who I am and what I have to do today. But I am looking by 365 days from now. Oh, no, baby, I need to be a best-selling author by then. You feel me? So what I'm doing right now, in this level that I'm operating on, it's not going to be enough. You know, and the things that I have are not going to be enough. My mind has to expand. My money's got to expand. So that means that I'm changing and I'm growing. And so I don't look at that as a negative thing. I think that that is the goal right there, is to just continue to be more and more and more of me.
That's right. That's it. That's it. You got it. You got it. You got it. And I know you got a quote that you wanted to share as well.
Yes, one that I have developed and is getting me through and has gotten me through especially tough relationships. Take me as I am or leave me like you found me. And that's my quote. And what that means is that don't come into my life trying to change me into what it is that you think that I need to be. Okay, so take the person that you see today, realize that this is a growing person, a changing person. That does not mean tolerate a bunch of mess and crap, but it means that if what I have to offer right now today is not enough for you, then maybe I'm just not the right person for you. So take me as you see me right this second, 100%, celebrate all of it. You understand? Because it's some great stuff in me. I'm sweet as pie, but honey, it's some stuff that needs to change. It's some stuff that needs to grow. Okay, so you got to accept the good with the bad and realize, all right, she cool, I love her, but she working on this right here. So I feel like that in relationships in particular, and friendships as well, it gives people room to grow. It gives people it's your person having patience with you as you grow and as you change, and not putting that pressure on you to be something that you may not be capable of being. All right, so if I'm an apple and you're allergic to apples, sweetheart, don't try to change me into no orange. And I used to do that. You know what I'm saying? I used to do that. Like, okay, well, they need vitamin C, so I need to try to put on an orange costume and be an orange. No. You need to go to an orange grove if you need oranges, because I'm an apple for a reason. Because I'm here for the people who need apples. That's my
That's
so
it.
that's where that comes from.
Man, listen. I told y'all to buckle up and hold on tight. It is going down. So that is for today right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, brought to you by my good friends down at Patty Creek's Farm. Let you hear a word from our sponsor.
Yo, what's up, good people? It's your man, H. Cortez Hustle. Listen, when you want to get away from all the hustle and bustle of your life, you want to unplug, you need a place to unwind and chill, I want to tell you all about Patty Creek's Farm. Man, it was amazing getaway for my wife and I. We just came down. It's about 2 hours southwest of Missouri, of St. Louis, and we just had a blast. There's plenty for you to do around the farm, or if you want to do nothing at all, I want you to listen to this. Just peace and quiet, right? Man, this is an amazing place. The grounds are beautiful, well kept. Miss Patty and Mr. Bob are some amazing human beings, and they're going to make sure that you have a very good time. So go check them out at Patty Creek's Farm. You will not be disappointed. And for those of you who are grinding all the time, remember, you need time for self-care. And what better way to do that than to unplug? Come get you a little bit of peace and quiet, get you a little bit of peace of mind, relax, chill. One of the coolest bed and breakfasts we've ever been to, Patty Creek's Farm. Check it out.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. I am sitting here ecstatic with BJ Word, man. If you guys are not following BJ Word, you are missing out. Get your life in order. But as we get ready to dive in, BJ, I ask everybody who comes on the show this first question. Who the heck are you?
Ooh. That is good, man. I didn't know you was gonna be heavy hitting this morning like this, first thing in the morning. So, I'm a therapist, so we tend to dig way underneath questions. So if I dive too deep, you have to let me know. No, that was surface level. It wasn't a trick question. Who I am at my core is a child of God, and divinely created. That's who I am. And I hold on to that on days even when I'm not living up to what I'm supposed to live up to, or what I feel like I should be doing, when I'm not walking in purpose. I'm still divinely created, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm still fearfully and wonderfully made. That means that at the end of the day, God looks at me and sees a piece of himself. So that's who I am. And that part is never going to change, regardless of what titles I take on and what it is that I do, what ways I may be living out my purpose or whatever. But that is who I am. I don't start out by saying when I'm asked that question, gender or ethnicity or any of that, because that's so subjective nowadays. Like, and it can change. People change it. You know what I mean? Some people got 2 black parents and they don't identify as black, or they were born one gender and they could change something else. So, but at the core of me, a child of God, that ain't changing. So that is who I am. Also, who I am is a black woman. I am somebody who loves myself and therefore loves life, and strives to allow God's light to shine through me every day so that other people can love their lives and other people can experience. Growing up, we always talk about you just got to have joy no matter how you feel. And I get that, honey, but I want some happiness too. You understand? I don't want to just be talking about I got joy deep down in my soul, but I'm miserable. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Been there, done that. So, who I am is somebody that is loving this journey now, that I have not always loved this journey. I have not always wanted to wake up in the morning, and now I do. And so who I am is somebody, and I don't believe this will ever change either, is somebody that just wants to share my light, to share God's light through me to other people, regardless of what they believe in. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of what their religious affiliation may be or whatever, that's okay. But I still want to share what I have. Because I believe that everybody can live a life that they love. I believe that everybody can get to a place where they love themselves. So that's who I am. What I do is licensed professional counselor. life coach, motivational speaker. And I'm also dabbling in writing. Well, I won't say dabbling in. I'm a pretty good writer. I haven't published a book yet, but that's coming. So that's kind of sums it up. 41 years old, single, no children. All of these are just, you know what I'm saying, labels. I got a good psychology friend that talks about the difference in labels and ingredients. So all those things that I'm telling you are just labeled, but honey, my ingredients, what I'm made of is love. What I'm made of is God's light. What I'm made of is being his divine creation. What I'm made of is motivation for other people, help for other people. What I'm made of is loving me head to toe. Even on my days when I'm at my worst, I still love who I am as a person. So that's my ingredients. That's what I consider to be who I am. Also, I am is somebody struggling with where to look. I'm not used to. I'm normally doing this on my laptop, so I'm like.
So look. So now you're looking away from me. So your eye must be to your right a little bit.
So
there you go. Yes.
Boom.
There you go.
All right, I'm ready now.
All right. That's amazing. And I think that's why I resonate with you so much, because you are walking and living in that. And you understand the importance of getting to that place where you're walking and living in that. And when I tell you, BJ, I spent the first 26, 27 years of my life trying really, really, really hard to convince the world that I really was who I was pretending to be.
Yeah.
It took me a long time to get to a place where
your mic got a little bit distorted. I'm sure your microphone got a little bit distorted at the very end there. I'm trying to make sure it's not me.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. I was trying hard to convince people that I was who I was pretending to be. And it took me, and it literally cost me to lose my mind.
Wow.
And I had to go through a bunch of stuff to get to a place where I absolutely, and I tell myself every day, Cortez, I am madly, helplessly, and hopelessly in love with you.
Ooh, yes.
Every day. So talk about your journey, right?
Yes.
Always wanted to be a counselor, always wanted to be a therapist. Was that first, second, third, fourth, fifth choice? Or did you walk into that thing and God said, no, you going the wrong way?
Right. I think I have kind of always been that. And not always knew that that's what I wanted to be as a career. If that makes sense, because being a therapist embodies so much of my personality. Being really life coach and motivational speaking, all of that just really embodies who I am as a person. But I think out of fear, I didn't really shoot for those things as a career option. You know, I think especially, I don't know your age group, but in my age group, when you were growing up, you're supposed to choose between being a doctor, lawyer, nurse, or teacher. That was it, unless you were going to some sports. Okay, that's it. So they didn't talk a whole lot about, you didn't see a lot of Black therapists. You just didn't. Psychology was something that you saw Fraser doing on TV. It was something that you heard about, Sigmund Freud doing and him being weird. That's what you heard growing up. So it's not something I even thought was an option for me. And so actually after being a pre-K teacher for many, many years, I actually taught several grades. One year while I was teaching pre-K, I was really trying to figure out, like, where do I fit in on this big globe? You know what I'm saying? What is it that I'm supposed to be doing? I knew I loved engaging with people. I knew I had a way with words. I know that, if you put a microphone in my hand, honey, and say, talk about trees for 5 minutes, and I don't even know the science behind trees, but I'm going to captivate my audience and they're going to get a good story. You understand? So I knew that. And I have a lot of family members who are the same way. I knew that was there, but I didn't know what that translated to until I had a very tragic event happen where one of my pre-K students got killed in a car accident. And as a teacher, they say you're not supposed to have favorites, but honey, he was a teacher's pet. If I'm just being honest, all the other kids knew that. They would send him to ask for things that they wanted in class because they knew that I would hear them saying, send so-and-so, because if he asks her, she's going to say yes. And it was true. Whatever he wanted, he could get it from me. So that was not, just all of my students were special to me, but this particular one just had grabbed my heart. And he was just that type of child that he just grabbed everybody's heart in the school. school, and he got tragically killed. And it was at that time that I really was searching for what I wanted to do next, because I knew that, you know, being in a teaching environment was not something that I wanted to. Shout out to teachers, but I knew it was not something that I could see myself doing for a longer period of time. And so after that, they sent in a counselor who was offering this counseling to people, grief counseling to people who, you know, were at the school. And that person sat in there with me for about 5 minutes and was just kind of checking off of a box. Clearly was overworked, underpaid. And I said, you know what, there's got to be more to counseling than this. You know, there has to be more to it, and there has to be another way for me to be able to help people. And that's what really catapulted me to go ahead and go into the field. And I went right after that the next year and started working on my master's towards becoming a counselor. So that tragedy is actually what, you know, I was already searching, but the tragedy is what pushed me to be like, all right, this is time. It's time now.
I love that. I love that, because we don't often realize how everything impacts us in one way or another. And sometimes we ignore those little nudges from God, and then he has to just slap you plumb upside the head so that you can get it, so he can make it crystal clear. Listen, I've been whispering, you know, I've been kind of guiding and kind of pushing you a little bit. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and just drop this on you so that you know that it is 100% clear. So you got through that, and you kind of started down your journey of becoming a counselor. But then you have some things happen personally that we're gonna get into, because a lot of times people don't realize that counselors and therapists are people too, and they go through stuff too. But before we do that, I do a segment every day called 1 Minute Motivation, because I'm so huge on personal growth and self-development. I incorporate that into every show and really pretty much everything that I do. But one thing most people don't get, DJ, is that everything that you consume is contributing to your personal growth and self-development. Question is, are you growing in the right direction? So I'm gonna play this short 1 minute clip, and then I'm gonna ask you to give me one of your takeaways, and I'm gonna give you a takeaway, and the audience usually comments a takeaway or two. So let's get into 1 Minute Motivation, the BJ Word version, right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Student is mentally tough, have the ability to adapt, have a character, consistency, demonstrate courage on the daily, stay motivated, stay positive, earn your respect, have a winning attitude, breathe, compete, make no excuses, set goals, practice great habits, stay focused. You want your future? You gotta outwork everybody on that field. You gotta outwork everybody in the room. You gotta learn how to perform under pressure. You gotta leave it all out on the field. Everybody wants the future, but everybody wants to be average.
I've heard it all in my career. All the bullshit excuses and the lies people tell themselves. They say things like, I'll start Monday. It's not my fault. It's not fair. I'm too damn tired. Or my personal favorite, I don't have enough time. Let's have a real talk. You know what kind of people do and say these things? Losers. They have a loser mentality through and through. And until they recognize that the problem is them, they'll never improve.
Ooh, that's tough.
Well, BJ, as my guest, one of the reasons I love these, because we all just listen to the same clip. But based on where you are in your life, you heard something different.
Right.
What did you hear?
I heard so much. First of all, who was the speaker on that first part? Was that E.T. the hip-hop preacher?
I don't think that was E.T. on that one.
Okay.
It's weird. I have the full clip. I'll send it to you, but I don't know these people. but it's good stuff.
So here's what I got from that first half, and this is gonna be so left field, but I hope people follow me with this. And I said E.T. the hip hop preacher because he's very popular, and the voice kind of reminded me of his. Here is what whether and sorry I'm not trying to disrespect if that wasn't him or was him, no, please don't sue me. So here is what that person reminded me of, and what ET reminds me of every time I hear a message like that. Be who you are. And here is why they remind me of that, and why that message stuck out to me. I don't really like that style. I don't really follow ET. I can't really listen to him past 30 seconds.
Yeah.
His style, I think, is almost mirrors mine in a lot of ways. He tough, he loud, he in your face, and I just be like, man, calm down. And I am sure that for a lot of people, I am extra, I am too much, I am over the top, I'm too tough, I'm too loud, I am too. And I love ET as a person because he reminds me that, man, everybody ain't gonna like what you have to offer. Everybody's not going to like the way you present it. Be who you are and present that anyway, because there's a whole audience of people who need what you have. So when I heard the voice, I was like, wow. So it's like, I don't want to call it a love-hate relationship, but his style doesn't appeal to me. But every time I hear him, it motivates me to be more of who I am, realizing that, I don't care how great you are, somebody going to be like, I don't like that. So that's what I got out of the first half, okay? Because that's where I am in life, is really just learning how to accept rejection.
Yeah.
That's a big part of moving forward in life. That's a big part of self-love, is learning how to accept that, honey, some people gonna say no. Some people ain't gonna like you. Some people ain't gonna love you. Some people are not gonna want you, and it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with their preference and where they are.
Yes.
That's what I got out of the first half. It wasn't even so much about the content. It was more about the presentation for me. What that person was bringing to the table. And I think that when you're presenting the rawest, real version of yourself, you, as you can see on social media, you can say almost anything. You're gonna get an audience for it when you're being authentic.
That's right. That is the truth. A couple things, man. You realize you are the problem.
That part. That was the next part I was going to speak on.
You realize you are the problem. I follow, another person who's very brash and cocky, right borderline arrogant, is Gary Vaynerchuk, right? And he talks about all the time being 100% responsible for everything, taking responsibility. Like, no, this is my ish. I got, listen, Apostle Paul says we are all gods. What does that mean? That means we are all creating our own world. And if my world is upside down, that's my fault.
It's my fault.
And I gotta fix it.
At the end of the day. And so, that second part really spoke to me. I remember this quote from a bishop. I used to attend his church in Atlanta, and he said, until the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the pain of change, you won't change. You know what I'm saying? So there is a pain involved with changing, but there's also a pain involved with staying where you are, staying stuck, staying miserable, staying unhappy. And at the end of the day, we love to look externally for those changes, but it has to take place on the inside, because if you don't make that change inside, you will go to a new situation and do the same stuff, because you still gonna be you when you get over there.
That's right.
So, that's a red flag for me when I'm, out here in this dating thing, when I meet people who have been in relationships, and I always ask, so what did you learn from that? What would you do different? If all they got is blame for the other person, you didn't grow. You didn't learn anything, because even if you just so happen to meet somebody and they were perfect, and then 3 days later they turned into, it was a Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde situation, and you didn't see it coming. Okay, but why did you stay there as long as you did? What made you stay 15 years instead of 2 or instead of 3? So it's something going on the inside of you, and it's not just relationships, but the choices that we make that lead us to the situations that we're in. That's where you got to go back and check. You know what I'm saying? You got to go back and check. It's not about just second guessing yourself, or second guessing what but you got to go back and look at those breadcrumbs that led to how you got where what How did you develop this mindset right here? And if you don't change that, you're not going to be able to change anything. You won't be able to change your situation until you look internally. So that's absolutely what I got out of that second part of it.
I had somebody jump on the show just last week and ask this question. Do you believe what you believe you believe? So that is 1 minute motivation right here on the Cortez Hustle Show, the BJ Word edition. I told y'all to buckle up and hold on tight. Listen, David Wright said, man, could you please say that quote one more again, BJ?
Which one? I said a bunch of
about the pain.
Until the pain of change becomes until the pain of staying the same becomes worse than the pain of change, you won't change.
That's it.
There is a pain involved in staying where you are. There's a pain in that.
Yeah, and you got to admit it and recognize that.
Yeah.
So 1 minute motivation, ladies and gentlemen, brought to you by Instant Authority Blueprint. 21 days to launch. Add some authority to your brand by becoming a published author. In as little as 21 days, we can help you write, publish, and launch your own wildly successful book. Even if you failed high school English like your boy, man. Listen, I was in summer school like a mug because I failed high school English, but I'm a 2-time published author working on my 3rd project. So if you need help in that area, just let your boy know. Comment keyword publish, and I'll send you the link to our free masterclass going down this Thursday, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So BJ.
Yes.
You teaching pre-K, tragic incident happened, got from teaching pre-K, got into this whole counseling world. First couple years, was it what you expected it to be?
Woo. No. Not at all. I think a lot of people go into, and I absolutely came into the idea of counseling as giving people advice. So I thought I was gonna be sitting down giving advice all day. That's what you see on TV. That's what they do, right?
Yeah.
That's not what it is. Life coaching goes into that sometimes, where somebody just wants your advice on something. But it's really, therapy is really more about helping people to see where they are and see what is stopping them from getting to who they want to be. You know what I'm saying? We have we're at A and I really want to be at D. Okay, but what is the B and the C? What's going on between these 2 steps on the inside of you that's stopping you from being this version of yourself? And it's also about asking the right questions to find out if the goal you're heading for is even the goal you should be heading for. Sometimes people come to therapy with this mindset of who they think they want to be and the life they think they want to have. And by the time we get through asking questions and breaking that thing down, they're like, maybe that's not the right road. So it's really was a journey to even learn what therapy was. But the part that shocked me the most was I had to learn who I was. Because I didn't know that I ain't know, honey. And so I, in working on my master's, I learned so many things about myself during that process. That was like, one of the biggest things that I will take with me forever is that I realized that I was great at telling people what I think. I was horrible at talking about how I feel. And I did not know that because I'm such a good communicator. I've been talking like this since I started talking. So it's just, the word is my real live last name. For people that want to know, that's my daddy name. So I have never had a problem with words. They've been putting me up to say these speeches at church since I was 4. So it's not an issue. I can always tell you what I think. But then therapy requires a level of vulnerability. You can't expect your clients or your patients to go somewhere that you haven't gone or aren't willing to go. And so that was the first turning point for me, was realizing that I was bad with feelings, scared of them. Still struggle with them sometimes. I'm a lot better.
And I think that's huge for us all, especially us men, because we've been taught, and I call this the phony TV masculinity, right? We've been taught and trained, most of us, not all, because some of us did have real men in our households and they taught us how to be real men. Most of us have this TV bravado, this TV masculinity that says feelings are for girls, right? And we go through a lot of us our entire lives in pain, just hurting all the damn time because we can't admit or venture to say out loud that, man, I'm hurting. Man, what I feel is pain. This
Right.
is so. How do you help people, right? Get past the superimposed limitations that have been placed on them by this culture. Because that's what, I mean, we talk about sending your representative. You said you in the dating world, so I know you meet a lot of representatives as you were dating. So, but that goes on in every facet of life. How do you help people like that? That's a limitation somebody put on you when you were 5 years old.
Yeah.
Listen, that ain't who you are. That is something that you have come to believe because of this situation that you carry. How do you help people do the inner work?
Yeah, it's constantly perpetuated. And let me go ahead and piss off the whole female fan base right now. I'm gonna go ahead and make them mad because I got to let the men in on our secret. Honey, we're not good with feelings. We're not. The majority of women are transparent. That's mistaken for vulnerability, and those two things are not the same. So she'll go off. Oh, we're gonna tell you what I'm gonna tell him how I feel. No, you're not, sis. You're telling him what you think. How you feel is, baby, you hurt my feelings. How you feel is I'm embarrassed by what just happened. How you feel is I'm betrayed. I don't feel I feel betrayed. I don't feel loved. I feel in my mind I feel like I'm fat and it's causing me to not want to take my clothes off in front of you. So that's why I'm sleeping on the couch. That right there is vulnerability. How many men can say they get that from their girl in a relationship? I know ain't none of my past boyfriends can say they got it, because I'll go off on you in a minute. I tell you, hey, I don't appreciate blah, 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 blah. But how many times can I look back and really say that I looked a man in his eye and said, that hurt my feelings? I don't think I've ever said it. Women don't even say it to each other. Let's just be real. I'm just going to let the men in on that. We don't. We would go off on each other. We would get mad. We would roll our necks. But rarely are we vulnerable. And a lot of times as humans, we don't even have the vocabulary to express our feelings. Listen, one of my teachers, when I was getting my master's, he had to give me a whole sheet of, a big old sheet of feeling words, because I didn't have the vocabulary to really express how I was feeling. Anger is the go-to. And a lot of times the only difference is men will hold in their anger and women are transparent about their anger. But that's it. It's so many other myriads of emotions to go through and feelings, and people rarely talk about that. And so the way that I help people to get to a place where they are able to start expressing that is first of all, you got to accept that that's how you feel inside your own mind. Accept it. It's so hard. You would not even believe.
No, I get it. Listen, people, we've been trained to not say what we feel, and then been trained by the people that we love. Like I use this example all the time. I step on your toe and you say, ouch, man, dang, that hurt. And then I tell you, man, quit bitching, that ain't hurt.
Right.
But wait a minute.
Grow up.
So I want to tell you how to feel.
Yep.
And that's kind of emotionally, physically, that's the kind of the dichotomy that happens all the time.
It's a cycle. Because you know what? A lot of times that person that hurt you is saying that because they ain't comfortable with their feelings. So they uncomfortable with the fact that, number one, they made a mistake or they made a bad decision. They failed. We haven't accepted that we're fallible. Okay. And sometimes we're going to fail. Sometimes you're going to hurt the person that you love, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Sometimes you're going to make a stupid decision, and that's okay. See, self-love is at the bottom of all of this, honey, because when you love yourself, you allow yourself to do stuff that ain't that smart and still say, you know what, I'm not a junky human being. I don't have to throw the whole BJ away because I screwed up. I can look at this and say, you know what, I screwed up. I should have done some different things. I should have taken some different turns. And so since I can sit with that, I can say, yeah, you know what, Cortez, I did. I shouldn't have done it to you, man. I'm sorry. And be okay with the fact that you're in pain as a result of something that I did.
Yeah.
And a lot of people just ain't there. And see, on another level is I got to accept that whatever you feel, you choosing to feel that. You know, that's your decision. I'm not solely responsible for your emotions.
Yeah.
I influenced it, but you still chose that. So if you are having tears as a result of something that I said, if I'm not comfortable with my own tears, how am I gonna be comfortable with yours? So then my response to you is gonna be, man, stop crying, grow up, you acting like a girl. That's because inside of me, I don't feel comfortable crying.
Yeah.
And some people, they're not even comfortable with that on the inside of their own mind. Like, man, I will have clients to do homework, they come back, they write stuff down, and it's a process for them to even be able to read it out loud, to say, I felt embarrassed when, I felt hurt when, because it puts you in a place of being vulnerable, and it puts you in a place of quote unquote weakness. And we see that as a bad thing, like holding stuff in and not telling people the truth and not being honest with yourself is strength. You a lie. No, it's not. It takes a whole lot more strength for me to say I'm hurting than for me to sit up here and walk around being fake. That's weakness.
Yeah.
We got it backwards, but you got to unlearn and then relearn.
Love
You
it.
got to unlearn. Yeah.
Listen.
You got to challenge those things that you have been taught by people that you love. And that was part of my journey too. Love my mama to pieces. She the sweetest as she can be. But it's some stuff she passed down that I don't want. So I got to separate what she passed down from her, so that when I do meet my man, honey, we get married. Ha 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 ha. He can talk to me and marry me, and my mama mouth won't be coming through me. The lady just got mad at me again, and that's all right, honey. Make an appointment. If I just made you mad, make an appointment.
Let me stop you right there, because we're going to dive. Listen, we're going to dive in, because a lot of people don't even realize what you just said. That ain't even you talking, boo-boo. That ain't even you talking. So we got to take a quick commercial break. On the other side of that, BJ is going to dive in a little bit deeper on that. But then we're going to talk about the mindset of an entrepreneur, because there's a lot of stuff going on in this world of entrepreneurship that's phony as well, in terms of the mindset that you have to be successful. So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked right here.
Hey, good morning, wealth champions. Hey, listen, if you want to be financially successful, then you have to do what financially successful people do. And I know there's a few things that all wealthy people have in common. Number one, they understand that building wealth is a team sport. Number two, they understand the power of capitalism and business enterprise. Number three, they love to use systems and leverage. And number four, they all have mentors. My name is H. Cortez, also known as Financial Health Mentor. And for the last 5 years, I've been helping hardworking Americans get all of these things in place with one single membership. If you want to learn more about that, go to myperfectmoneyplan.com. Again, that's myperfectmoneyplan.com. And you're going to get a team of professionals, so you're not building wealth by yourself. You're going to get a system that's going to help you transform your finances. And last but not least, you're going to get some great mentorship to help you execute your game plan. So again, go to myperfectmoneyplan.com. And I'll see you on the other side.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Cortez Hustle Show. You're listening to and learning from Madam BJ Word in the building, from BJ Word LLC, licensed therapist and counselor, motivational speaker, soon to be best-selling author. It's going down, ladies.
It's going down.
So we were talking on the other side of the break about how you spoke so eloquently on, you know, when you meet Mr. Right and y'all in relationship, he's talking to you and not your mama. One of the hardest things to do is to reevaluate the things that you learn from the people that you love and trust and respect. Talk about peeling back those layers of that onion to get down to some real truth, and that it's okay to rebuild your own identity.
Yes.
Talk about it.
It's a must. It is a must, man. And it pains me sometimes when Mother's Day roll around and Father's Day, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't make these great posts about your parents, but so many times I know the backstory, and I know y'all don't even like each other. Y'all not even talking. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, you ain't even spoken to her since it's been months, and now for social media, she is this great, phenomenal. Y'all are best friends, and we just you're lying, and if you're lying for us, then somewhere on the inside you're lying to yourself. And I think that we particularly as African Americans, we historically haven't had the opportunity, particularly in this country, to challenge things that were taught. So in slavery, you just took what they said, period. You didn't challenge that. And in a lot of ways, they got passed down. But at some point, if you really want to become the authentic version of yourself, you're going to have to challenge those things that don't fit who you are. And sometimes that's going to be wrapped up in a person that you love very, very much. And so it's about eat the fish and throw away the bone. You ain't got to throw the whole thing away, but don't sit up there and choke on the bones. And don't, idealize or romanticize your parents or whomever you learn these lessons from, so much so that you cannot separate the things that they said and the things that they did from who they are. And so that's where therapy comes into place, honey, because you got to go all the way down in there and find a place where you can still love them, but accept that this person got their own trauma, honey. And if you around our age, you in your 40s or something, 9 times out of 10, your parents don't even believe in counseling and they ain't going to see no therapist. They just gonna pray and that's it. And ain't nothing wrong with prayer, but you understand it takes more than that. So, when you know better, you do better. So we're a different generation, and the ones coming behind us are a different generation. And so I had to accept that, my mother has her own trauma going on that she has never dealt with. It's unresolved. And without even trying to, we make the mistake of thinking that people do stuff on purpose, and all the times it's not on purpose. And so without even trying to, she passed some of that on. And my father's communication style is to not communicate. He a military man. He ain't talking about no feelings. So and it's just, he's just, let's keep the peace. Let's keep everything on the line. I don't care how upset you are. Just don't talk about being upset. Sir. Okay, if that's what works for you, hey, the man 86, I got to give him his respect. He done made it this long in life. That ain't working for me, sir. It's not working for me. So I love you, and I realize that I have to handle them how they are, while meet them where they are. In other words, I don't have to try to change them into something that I would like for them to be. I can meet them where they are, accept those things about them that are great, but still realize some of this stuff I don't want coming through me. So I got to challenge it and change it to what works better for me.
I love that. And basically you're talking about traditionalism, and that's kind of like, man, especially if you brought up in the church. But we're not gonna go there. We're gonna talk about this entrepreneurship stuff here in a second. But I want you to, on the flip side of that, all that you just said about your parents, all that I can say about my mom, my dad. I lost my dad when I was 11. But all of that being said, and we building this person that we are today, guess what? This person today ain't gonna get it right for our children.
That's
and
right.
We got to be okay with that.
And you got to be okay with that. That's the bottom line. You're not going to always get it right. And in all they did, that I don't may or may not agree with them folks, been married 42 years, honey. So they it's working for them. And they did the best
they could with what they had.
With what they had. I never went out without a meal. I never went without clothes. I was never molested. There ain't none of that my story. You know what I'm saying? So you're not gonna get it all right all the time, because you're a human being. And you're the truth of the matter is, especially during when you're growing up, the children don't expect you to get it right all the time. They are not looking for a perfect version of you. They just want you to be present. I ain't recognized this stuff about them in childhood. I got grown, got a little smarter, and started looking like, oh, y'all don't really talk about problems around here. But I didn't know that when I was 10.
Right. I love it. So you are now entrepreneur, doing your thing. As someone who's coming from corporate, what's that transition like for you?
I actually am still in corporate. So I am doing both. at the same
Yeah.
time. I'm with
And that reminds me, we got to do part 2 because there's something else that I want you specifically, and maybe we'll do a panel and get a couple other folks on here. But I've got to talk to my female entrepreneurs primarily, and we'll do something with the brothers too, but primarily my female entrepreneurs, especially if you're Black, especially in your corporate, and all that y'all got to deal with on that side of the coin. And that's why Black women are the fastest growing segment of entrepreneurs in the world, because y'all figuring it out. Like, listen, this is not a place for me to be my authentic self and have to perform. But that's another conversation for another day. But your personal transition into entrepreneurship, how's it go?
You know what? I was talking to someone recently, and I said, you know, it really takes a total mindset shift to get to a place where you can be as passionate and as going hard and as 100% for yourself when you're used to doing that for year after year after year after year for a company or for an agency or for someone else. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you have this guilt attached to it, and you got to change your thinking. And that is part of the process for me. It's really changing my thinking and saying, you know, truthfully, most Black women that I know, okay, in corporate America, or not, all of it's corporate. First of all, I don't care if you work for a nonprofit, it's corporate. All right. So wherever it is. So for those of us, the majority of us, we give 150%. We do what is the Black girl magic when we get up in there, okay? And you look around and the person next to you is giving 50, and it's like, she's giving 51 now. That's great. And you saw me over here giving 150 this whole time. And so your response to that was, what do you think you can do? Can you give us 155? And so what I've had to learn how to do is scale that back. Do my job, do the best that I can, because I am in therapy on my corporate job as well. So I want to be all that I can be for my clients, but I realize that means being all that I can be for BJ Word and not putting myself second. And I have not always, I haven't always done that, Cortez. I really have not. Yeah. There was a time even this year where I put my corporate job up in front of my health. I never do it again. I learned a lesson. And so I think that is pushing me to go even harder. Honey, I'm not going to sit up and give you all these hours in a day and not give any hours to BJ Word LLC. I'm not doing that. It's pushing me to even go harder because, I hope, well, if they see it, they see it. I realized, and I think a lot of Black women have realized, I sat there and I said, BJ, you're too talented to be putting up with this. You are too talented to be miserable on any job. You are too skilled. You got too much on the inside of you. And it's like you say, it's those nudges. It's like God is like, oh, what you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know, you got all this going on. Use it for yourself. So that's what the transition is like for me. You know, it's just being able to create something that is different and unique for my clients, realizing that really, honestly, Black therapists are scarce out here. So realizing that, you know, I just got to be on top of my game for me, the same way that I have been on top of my game for corporate America all of these years.
Love it. Love it. Listen, this hour has flown by too fast, so we certainly got to do a part 2. But I do a segment every episode when I have a guest on called Freestyle, BJ, because I know you got bars. Right?
Oh, my God.
Now, it's not about rapping or rhyming or anything like that. But as I build this media empire that will one day rival Ted Turner and Walt Disney, right? I don't always ask the right questions, and the conversation doesn't always evolve where we want it to go. So this is a moment for you to say, hey, there's some things that I need to reiterate that we talked about earlier. Hey, there's some things that we didn't talk about yet that I feel compelled to get off my chest. So in 2 minutes, give them the BJ Word freestyle right here on the Cortez Hustle Show.
Woo, child, 2 minutes. Okay, I want to say this, particularly to my Black sisters watching this. Baby girl, you ain't got to be all things to all people. Get that out of your mindset. Go to my Facebook, Instagram a little later, BJ Word, okay? I'm going to share something about I'm every woman. You don't have to be there. You don't have to know all things. You can get other people to help you. Help, H-E-L-P, sis. get it, okay? I am getting help with this. You think I ain't finna sign up for this publishing thing he got going on? Yes, I am, because I don't know how to do it. And it's okay for me to say I don't know how to do it, okay? I'm just gonna get somebody to teach me, but that's all right. So I want you to understand that it is okay not to be okay. Wherever you are, that's just where you are right now, but that doesn't mean you have to stay right there. Your life matters. I want to definitely leave you with that. And I just wanted to say, figure out who you are, okay? Accept who you are. Love who you are. And then find the people that are for who you are. Those things right there, if you can get that done, you will be living in such a place of peace and authenticity. If you figure out who you are, accept all that you are, love all that you are, and then find the people that are for who you are.
Man, I love it. Drop the mic on the
Drop
ass,
the
BJ.
mic.
Listen, this has been wonder-filled as I knew it would be. Do me a favor, let everybody know exactly where they can follow you, connect with you, your social handles. You got any projects coming out? How can they book you? They need to talk. They need to do a lunch and learn with you in the Memphis area, virtually, whatever. Talk to them, sis.
Let's get it. So I am BJ Word on all platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also YouTube, BJ Word. Very easy to find. WORD. That is my real live last name. I am revamping my website right now. I cannot wait to show you all the new version of it. In the meantime, shoot an email. I do free consults for therapy and for life coaching. And for those who want a motivational speaker, let's talk about it to see if I'm a right fit for you and you're a good fit for me. Okay, so I'll do a free consult for you. Just send an email to bj@bjword.com. Those emails are confidential. They come straight to me. And let's talk about getting on this path towards change. I am going to be offering some unique things to clients, honey. I'm going to do some coaching over cocktails, okay? Because everybody ain't coming into no therapist's office, but I know almost everybody will sit down and chat with their friend over a drink. I can coach you over a drink. First round on me. All right? Unless you got a drinking problem, then that's something different. So lunch and learn, walk and talk. All this is going to be available. I want to take this stigma off of the need for help and the need for mental health. And let's just put this in an environment where, you know, I'm just one person helping another person. And if that looks like walking around a lake while we do it, then that's what we're going to do it at. So shoot me an email. Those services are available now, but as soon as my website is finished being revamped, you will be able to sign up for it there. But you can shoot me an email right now. We can get started today. I do life coaching clients all over the U.S. It doesn't matter where you are. We can do that virtually for life coaching. If you want licensed therapy services, I am licensed in the state of Tennessee and the state of Georgia. So Tennessee and Georgia clients, we can get that set up for you. All virtual right now. We're staying safe due to COVID. So hit me up. Let's get started. I wasn't always right here, y'all. I used to cry when I woke up because I wanted to die in my sleep. And baby, now you see me right here, honey. When I wake up, I be like, yeah, let's go. And when I have a bad day, I've learned how to let myself have that without being suicidal. So I can teach you how to get that sugar. Come on this side. It's beautiful over here.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, until we talk to you next time, I want you to get your money up because you absolutely can do it. But more importantly, you deserve to do it, each and every single one of you. So hustle up. But you've got to overcome fear if you're going to win.